Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is William Heinman, your host, and you're at Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job, or they completely and totally screw it up. Well, this time, a police officer steps out of line, has the grand jury look at the situation, and the grand jury, instead of going after the gentleman that the cops want them to do something with, they ended up going after the sergeant, the officer. So, wow. Hello, people. It's changing, I'm telling you. Hey, guys. Today's story comes us from John Bryan, the civil rights lawyer. Send him some love, guys. Tell him I sent you over there and check him out. See what you guys think. I think he has some great content. He has some good information. Just check him out and see what you think. Subscribe to his channel, hit his share and his like button. Helps his algorithms. And then if you would, since you're here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so you know when I put out a new video. Hit the thumbs up, thumbs down, tells me how I'm doing. Leave a comment. Also hit the like and share because it helps my algorithms. So anyway, we're going to get into this. And it's a switch that our public officials, meaning our police officers, try to have this guy indicted by the grand jury, and the grand jury flips and goes after the sergeant. And this is all because a guy had a lithium battery that blew up. Don't know the exact reason why, but the lithium batteries do that. And he was putting out his the fire in his house, and the cops beat him and arrested him. You know, these cops, these moronic blue line sovereign citizen cops that think that they are just more holier than thou, they need to be put in their place. Okay, turn your badge in, turn your gun in, and go to work for Home Depot, because you don't have, you know, you're hired to be a public servant. And unfortunately, you can't do that because you're too stupid. You know, you don't have the mental capacity to do that. So you should turn your badge and your gun in and go work for someone else. Yeah, exactly. You know, these guys are thugs and bullies. They're in one of the biggest gangs in the United States, which is our law enforcement, hiding behind that big blue shield they have, a little thin blue line, which is slowly coming apart. And it makes me happy every day I see, you know, another, you know, indication into it. What I want to see happens is we get into their pension plans. Let them start paying for this, for their antics, instead of us, the citizens, having to pay for it. And I bet this shit stops immediately, because they're not going to allow this to happen. You know, you get into their pensions and they will knock this crap off. I guarantee it. Okay, guys, let's get this started. And like I said, it's John Bryant, the civil rights lawyer, and go check him out.
The most amazing thing has happened in a small town in Grayson County, Kentucky.
There's something about that southern hospitality, that warm, inviting, and everybody knows everybody.
How many times you punched me? A bunch. How many times you punched me? A bunch. I was putting out a fire, you idiot. Hey, take that.
A man's house caught on fire, or FAR,
Put the fire out.
as they say in both Kentucky and here in West Virginia.
Damn lithium battery blowed up.
It sounded like a bomb went
Oh, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
That man should be able to risk his own personal safety to put out that fire, right?
Well, hell, let me get that back in there then. No. Get out. I ain't gonna let my house burn.
Well, wrong, according to these cops who showed up on the scene and beat this man to a bloody pulp and arrested him, just for trying to put out a fire at his own home.
You're gonna stop me from saving my own home. My safety is none of your concern.
But that's not the most amazing part of this story. When the government went to have this man and his son indicted by a grand jury, I kid you not, they indicted the police officer instead.
Somehow the grand jury reversed the district court's finding and indicted Sergeant Newton on misdemeanor charges. This action is unprecedented in my experience.
Can the grand jury do that? Well, I have the body cam that turned this grand jury against the government. Let's go through it.
Save big at Shields during the holiday sales event.
Don't miss out on amazing deals from brands like Nike, Sika.
You know, when police step over the line and violate your rights, what makes it so egregious is the imbalance of power. You simply can't do anything to stop it at that moment. Just like that, you're up against a giant that you cannot fight alone. That's exactly what happened to a man in Florida who broke his back and became paralyzed in 2021. Instead of the government, he found himself fighting his own insurance company, who only offered him $20,000. But this man did not settle for only $20,000 for his injury. Instead, he called today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, and they were able to help him win over $120 million. The reason I like Morgan & Morgan is that they fight for their clients just like I do. As the nation's biggest personal injury law firm, they have the firepower to take on insurance companies and win. The best part is that you don't pay anything unless you win your case. If you or someone you know has been injured and needs help, you can start your claim now at forthepeople.com/thecivilrightslawyer, found in the description, and filling out this simple form, or by scanning the QR code on the screen from your phone's camera. Now let's get back to the video. And welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel, where by subscribing, you can do all of these things. Be entertained, be informed, be educated on constitutional rights, and also perform the very serious task of helping to hold your government accountable for acts of misconduct that we document on this channel. As I mentioned, this video comes to us from, I believe it's pronounced Litchfield, Kentucky, which is in Grayson County. Now, this has been in at least one news report that I've seen, but this was actually submitted directly to me by the guy in this video, Lanny. Now, Lanny, if you've ever lived in West Virginia or Kentucky, you know Lanny.
You're getting ready to go to jail. I'm going to shit going to jail. All right. You lied to me. You said the fire department.
You do not get to swing on the police.
I did swing until you hit me.
Have a seat.
What the is your name? This right here is going to cost you your job. Yeah, it's going to cost you, big boy, because you've never met somebody like me.
I don't know his specific genealogy, but I guarantee he's one of the descendants of the people who George Washington and others placed in these mountains to both stop the British and also the Native Americans from attacking people in the East. These people have always been fiercely independent. They were willing to fight the largest empire on earth over like a few cents in taxes. You don't mess with their sense of liberty and independence. You don't mess with their stuff. Not a lot has changed in some areas of the country. Anyway, Lanny's house caught on fire. In Appalachia, when your house catches on fire, yeah, you call the fire department, but you don't sit around and wait on the government to do it for you. Yeah, you call 911 if somebody breaks into your house, but you don't wait on the police to arrive. You protect yourself. You protect your family. You protect your home. And that's what Lanny was in the process of doing with his son and other family members when police officers from the Litchfield Police Department arrived. Now, the fire department was not there yet. The police arrived.
I don't know. I'm not sure what we're dealing with just yet.
Golly,
Where's it at?
it's in the basement.
Negative.
It's down there. Maybe outside. Here comes my son.
Sir, come on out.
10-4, take off.
It's hot.
Yeah, come on out. Is it just you guys down here?
Damn lithium battery blowed up.
It sounded like the bomb went.
Oh, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
You got it put out?
No, it's still going.
Officers ordered Lanny and his son Darren to leave the smoke-filled house for what they said were safety reasons, but the pair resisted.
Where's the fire department?
Well, let's get back.
Well, hell, let me get that back in there then.
No. Get out.
I ain't gonna let my house burn. There's hundreds of thousands.
Listen here.
And when they resisted, Officer Justin Cockrell tased the son, Darren Fentress.
You're getting ready to go to jail.
I'm gonna shit going to jail.
All right. Get out now. Get out now. Get out now. Dude.
Hey, stop it right
Right, hit you with this fire extinguisher.
At that time, his father, Lanny, was holding a garden hose because he was trying to put out the fire. And this is what the cops allege, that Lanny, holding that garden hose, swung it at the officers.
Get out here now.
No, I'm done. I done got the fire out.
You're right. You are done. You're both going to jail.
I'm gonna go to jail.
You're going to jail for assault third, and so is
How the
Okay, so this is another overreach of our government doing what they think they can do. These scumbag cops need to be arrested, thrown in jail, and their career over with. Simple, basic, easy.
because you touched the police officer. That's why.
I will.
Do it, mother. Do it. Get on the ground now.
You think calling me a mother in my home?
Get on the ground now.
I'm not getting on the ground.
So then Officer Newton tased him. Then when they finally got Lanny out of the house, as they're walking him to an ambulance, you can see these visible taser probes sticking out of his chest and his stomach, and his face apparently now a bloody pulp.
It's bullshit.
Ma'am, step back. Now, step
I'm
back.
going to take a picture of my husband.
You can take a picture, but you can also step back.
Yeah, you overstepped your bounds this time.
Okay.
Lanny was not happy at all, and he was not going quietly.
What gives you the right to make me leave my home when I'm trying to put a fire out? You lied to me. You said the fire department.
It ain't hard.
They lied to me. They said the fire department. You are.
Was to not go back inside that home for your
No,
safety.
you made me come out.
Yes,
I
I know.
wasn't fighting. I was fighting to get back in the damn house to put the fire out. What the is your name?
Sergeant Newton, sir.
Who?
Sergeant Newton.
What Newton?
N-E-W-T-O-N.
No. What's your dad's name?
My dad's name has nothing to do with this. He's not from here.
No. Well, you won't be from here very long. You know this is wrong.
No, it's not, sir.
You're going to stop me from saving my own home. By force. Hey, my safety is none of your concern.
It's his activity.
This right here is going to cost you your job.
After this happened, back when the government was still controlling the narrative here was the first news reports that came out of the situation. The headline was this: Father, son arrested for fighting police after Lichtfield basement fire reveals guns, ammo. 2 men were arrested in Lichtfield after fighting police officers that were attempting to clear a fire in a basement, which contained a large amount of ammunition and guns. The 2 men attempted to re-enter the home despite being told to stay away from the building. When blocked from entering by officers, both men shoved the officers, who then told the men they were under arrest. Lanny Fentress continued to resist arrest by punching and throwing things at the police officers before being tased as well. Afterward, both men were apprehended. While being treated by EMS, Lanny Fentress continued to be uncooperative and refused to give the officer his information. Both men were then transported to the Grayson County Detention Center. Lanny Fentress is charged with menacing, third-degree terroristic threatening, third-degree assault of a police officer, and second-degree wanton endangerment of a police officer. Darren Fentress is charged with menacing, resisting arrest, and second-degree wanton endangerment of a police officer. Both of the officers were treated for smoke inhalation and injuries at the emergency room and released. Oh, thank God the officer.
Now, why can they lie on their reports and get away with this? We have laws that stops this from happening. Why isn't it being enforced?
Officers are okay. This is how things normally go when police officers control the narrative. And everything was going swimmingly until the cases were presented at the grand jury.
A Litchfield police officer responding to a house fire is accused of assaulting a man and his adult son. Sergeant DJ Newton went to court this morning and pleaded not guilty.
Things get heated after Litchfield police and other first responders were called to a home on Risen Drive. This is Sergeant DJ Newton's body cam. The house is smoky from the fire. When officers told Lanny Fentress and his adult son Darren to leave the home, fearing for their safety, they wouldn't leave.
Get
out now. Taser, taser, taser.
A Grayson County special grand jury has now indicted Newton for this incident for misdemeanor charges of assault, terroristic threatening, menacing, and criminal trespassing.
Now, does that sound awfully unique? That's the same crap that they tried to charge this guy with. It's about time, and I hope this clown goes to prison for a long, long time because we're sick and tired of scumbag cops.
Lanny and Darren were arrested and charged with menacing, assault, and wanton endangerment of a police officer, but those charges have now been dropped. Litchfield police say Newton is on leave without pay after being indicted. Officer Justin Cockrell is not facing any charges. An internal police investigation is also underway. Lanny Fentress messaged WDRB Investigate saying the body cam speaks for itself.
Isn't it great that they're going to look into their own deal? To see if they did anything wrong. Again, wonder how that's going to come out. Yeah, right.
Newton's attorney, Thomas Clay, released a statement saying somehow the grand jury reversed the district court's finding and indicted Sergeant Newton on misdemeanor charges. This action is unprecedented in my experience.
The Litchfield Police Department issued the following statement regarding Officer Newton's indictment.
Hey folks, did you know that this M1911 is totally legal for everyone to own, no permit required?
On November 13th, 2024, Litchfield Police Department became aware of an indictment issued by Grayson Circuit Court stemming from a special called grand jury against Sergeant DJ Newton for multiple misdemeanor charges, including assault in the 4th degree, terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree, menacing, and criminal trespass in the 1st degree. Litchfield Police Department will update with more information as it becomes available. We would defer to the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office for specific information on these charges. At this time, Sergeant Newton is on leave without pay. Litchfield Police Department cannot comment on any internal action being taken at this time until the final disposition of any charges. So they had called a special grand jury just to indict Lanny. But remember, I told you about the fine people from West Virginia and Kentucky. I think when they saw that body cam footage and they compared it to the statement that was provided or the testimony that was provided by Officer Newton, they saw that it didn't match up. Just like you see in many of these videos, what the officers are describing is not what happened. They saw a man who was defending his own home from this fire, and they believed it was reasonable not to let police officers drag you out of your own house, especially when they weren't the fire department. The fire department wasn't there. They had no solution. They had no business dragging him out of his own house, much less beating him to a pulp and tasing him for, quote, his own safety. That wasn't for his own safety. That was because he didn't do what they told him to do and was willing to physically resist, which he did. Because it was on body cam, the grand jurors got to see what actually happened, and they turned the tables on the government. So now the government is prosecuting its own cop, which it doesn't want to do. So they have to bring in a special judge just to hear the case. And I guess they probably have to bring in a special prosecutor as well. So what I would look for to happen is for this to go away. The grand jurors, the citizens, wanted that officer prosecuted, but the government will not want that officer prosecuted, and I suspect that the charges will disappear quietly, unless they can't disappear quietly. And that's where you come in. If you love America and you love freedom, and you believe in the right of an American citizen, the right of a Kentuckian to defend his own home against fire, and not to be dragged out of it by anybody, then you can support Lanny by spreading this footage and letting people know what's going on here. The people have spoken through this grand jury. Don't let the government undo that. If this falls out of the public eye, the government is going to dismiss the charges against the officer, somehow recharge Lanny under Kentucky law. I'm sure they can do it. And this time they'll do something differently. But don't let them do that. Share this footage, let people see what happened, and decide for themselves. While I couldn't show a lot of the violence in this video, I will link the raw footage below so that you can watch it for yourself. You can see Officer Newton, or one of the officers, just repeatedly punching Lanny in the face. I mean, you do not cause that level of destruction on somebody's face without doing it intentionally by striking them or punching them in the face. The decision was made here to beat Lanny. I didn't see any bloody faces on behalf of the officers, despite what the news media said in the initial reports. I'm sure there's going to be more update videos on this one. Maybe I'll interview Lanny as well. We'll have to see. You can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Follow me on Twitter at JohnBryanESQ, especially if you like completely unrelated history stuff. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.
Okay, guys. So like he says, please share this with as many people as you can so this doesn't go away. We want to make sure that we hold the government, our government, the people's government, yours and mine government, accountable. These clowns we have that we send to Washington to do their work, they're unconscionable. Guys, don't let this go away. Keep it up. Keep it moving. Share it with as many people as you can. And remember, we'll talk to you again. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.